under your sit bones. So when you sit straddle, the big question is, and I'll go profile just so you can see this. So when we're seated straddle, do you have this ability to shift the pelvis any way you like? Can you shift it forward and sit? Can you shift it backward and sit? If you're missing one of those options, maybe get a little something under your sit bone. And I think generally 1 inch will do, or less. Okay, so we're gonna rock the pelvis forward. Now feel that the abdomen can soften. Oh, forget that. Now I'm just going to use we won't set this up, but I just want you to have a little visual. Just imagine your legs are drawing out on a big long strap between your feet. Okay. So you might feel the outer hips light up. You might feel the inner leg muscles light up. So we're not just sitting on our butt, but the legs are outreaching and wide reaching. Let all those side butt muscles turn on. Now deepen your breath. Now I'll turn and face you. So outreaching legs, wide reaching legs. They're stationary, but work them as if you're stretching the earth between your heels. Inhale the right arm up. Keep wide stretching the legs. Lengthen through the right ribs. Exhale, moving your entire ribs toward that right knee. Okay, preserve that length. That's the whole reason we lifted the right arm. That really is. That's the whole reason we lifted the right arm. So if you reach it and then smush, redo. Reach, lengthen, preserve. Set it down, still preserve that length. Inhale the left arm up over the right leg. So now breathe, feel the right side ribs. If you feel bunches, like skin fold, rib bunch, lengthen out the right side of ribs. You might have to lift up out of the groin stretch to lengthen through the right side ribs, but lengthen through the right side ribs. Okay, so it's not an arch. We're not arching this necessarily. Lengthening. If we're just lengthening our left side, we're arching. So feel the left side of the ribs, feel the right side of the ribs. Feel that breath can be distributed and felt with both sides of the ribs. Okay. Now the legs are outreaching, the legs are wide reaching. That wide reaching may have gotten lost a little bit. There you go. That wide reaching is a big activator of those side butt muscles. Uh-huh. Good. Okay, inhale. We'll come back upright. Get as tall, vertical as possible. We're going to make a twist to our left, but we're leaving our legs like so. Inhale, telescope ribs. So keep that little rock of the pelvis. Just that teeny little rock of the pelvis forward, like our We're spilling our tea forward. Exhale, we'll turn to our left. Place your hands on the ground. Outreaching legs, wide-reaching legs. We start seated. I think it's interesting to note that in some other styles, maybe like Iyengar, they start a lot of the things standing, and then seated poses are often considered the more advanced poses. That's just an interesting philosophical contrast. Because seated poses is considered, in other styles, to be ultra advanced. Like, we have to really activate and have a sense of where our support is in our body. So we're not just kind of like sitting. Sitting is such an interesting psychological just palette of feeling, emotional, psychological, energetic tones. I release. Inhale, unwind. I have the belief that we can infuse or re-educate any posture with any quality of attention, energy, liveliness that we desire. So seated doesn't have to mean fall asleep, flop. Seated can be alert, ready, engaged. So let's do side bend on the left side. Inhale, when you're raising the left arm, it's to lengthen the left side. So feel that stretch of fascia, lifting, lengthening of the ribs. Exhale, lean left, preserve that rib space. So when you set that hand down, pause, take a breath, and let that breath search and feel and confirm those ribs have space. They're not just bunched up into each other. That will raise, reach the right arm overhead. Outreaching legs, wide-reaching legs. This is a strong muscle move. Strong for the inner leg, strong for the outer leg. So in a sense, we're starting pretty ramped up, seated. Seated, standing, lying, we could re-educate these stances, these postures to express any quality of energy we like. Inhale, we'll come upright, way upright, because we're going to do a twist. Allow the pelvis to just slightly shift forward, just in case it started to roll back, just a little slight shift forward. Exhale, we'll turn to our right, plant the hands on the ground. That's all the grip we're taking for now. Outreaching legs, wide-reaching legs. And inhale, come back center, use hands, help legs together. Release out of that straddle. You don't have to bring them together. So let's move on to our hands and knees. From hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Give yourself adequate room on your mat that you could extend, straighten your legs straight back. So I'm doing my right. So I'm just reaching back. My toes are still on my mat. So it's almost like the right side of my body is doing plank and the left side of my body is doing whatever, hands and knees. We did a couple things with the foot. Let's just go over those today. One is I can push with my right toes against the mat like a track runner setting up on a block where everything is being propelled forward. All the potential movement is being directed forward. And there's also that way of engaging that right foot on the ground, active foot, that encourages the whole front line of the body, the shin skin, the fascia in the front of the knee, the front of the right hip, the low abdomen, the front of the ribs to involve. Work it that way. Push with the hands. Shoulders wrap. Means the serratus turn on, the chest turns on, the backs of the shoulders broaden, and take 2 deep breaths. Into the back muscles, into the sacrum. So in a sense, to call it another way, the right foot is almost hooking the ground. And the whole front side of the body, the front side of the body is getting quite active in supporting the back. And then we'll release that. We'll trade sides. It's just practice. We're just kind of remembering a thing from one sleep ago. Reach the left foot out. Sleep is a really important part of our yoga practice. It's where things get remembered and processed differently and deeply remembered. Okay. So that's why these continuous yoga practices day after day are so wonderful, because we get the advantage of doing the practice, but then also the sleep that draws the practice into some other places in our body, our unconscious, our way of learning. So left foot toes got the ground. It's the left leg is straightened, like the left side of body doing chaturanga. You got it? Yes, yes. And just practice giving a little grab. I suspect when you get that front line of the body to kind of excite into support, you will breathe differently. So we'll breathe differently. And just kind of run it through your simulation here. Would this feel amazing on my back come chaturanga? Just, you can ask that to your left side of the body. Would this be an extremely well-contained, powerful, supportive way of doing chaturanga? I hope so. Does it allow you to push through the arms and to lighten the shoulders? I think you'll find, yes. Release the left knee down. Let's place the elbows under the shoulders. When you plant the forearms out, create that similar broadness through the upper back. Press, serratus, side rib armpit muscles, chest muscles, front armpit muscles. Inhale. Curl toes under, exhale, knees off the ground. Now we play. So you have at least a couple ways of playing with the feet and therefore the fascial lines of the body, the supportive, interconnected tissues of the body. And I hope as you're playing in these postures, you're playing and practicing, how do I feel the fascial, the slings of support? How do mine feel? Do they feel inactive? How's that feel in my body? Does it feel like a broad network of support? Does it feel vague? Does it feel elastic? Is it transmitting energy, force, power? Is it being stretched? Does it feel fibrous? Depending on our body state, might feel more elastic, might feel hydrated, might feel fibrous, might feel dry. Okay. Let's set the knees down for one moment. I want you to just gather yourself. Deep breath, reset shoulders, doing whatever needs to be done. Second round, we'll be raising leg away from ground. So when you're ready, shoulders are set. Inhaling broadly through the ribs. Exhale the knees off the ground. Now, take one leg, doesn't matter which, and we'll lift, draw it up for 3, maybe 4 breaths, and then we'll switch. Can you feel that support of the foot hook, that front fascial swing, supporting your low back? Sweet. So change at your pace. So just 3 or 4 breaths per side is perfect. Set it down, switch whenever you need. There you go. There you go. Yep, reaching it straight away. Is that way of exciting and lighting up the back of the leg? There's that way of exciting and lighting up the front of the body, the front of the leg. And then there's that way of playing both sides same time. When you're through, just set the knees down, or the feet down, the knees down, release. I notice when I'm getting a lot of support from the front side of my body, the back side of my body, I'm more apt to relax in the hip crease, to relax in the abdomen. I don't have to generate so much willful breath expression. Well, I want to use the wall in a particular way next. So I'll do my best. I know I won't be able to see all of your feet, but just if I were to just statistically organize this for ourselves, I'll just give you the broad statistical range of things. We get into this stance, most of us will have this straight leg foot, bleeding off this fascial tension. So as long as there's no ankle issues, again, just broad statistical brush strokes, we'll need to turn this back foot in more. Okay. So that'll just be that's just kind of the usual thing. All right, how will we use the wall? With a block. Turn my back to you just to do the same side. I'm just softly holding. that block with the top of my shin bone is very soft. So I have this basic shin bone is directing this force through the talus heel into the forefoot. All right, so let's hopefully you can get this set up as just a block, a little dab of wall. And let's put our right knee to the block, our shin bone. Just you're not jamming the knee joint. It's a very light touch. I would say I was using maybe 1 pound, maybe 2 pounds of pressure at the very, very most. I wasn't leaning. And we're coming into Warrior Two. Warrior Two with just a nice soft touch, right shin on block into wall. There you go. Good. Check that, a foot alignment. The back instep aligns with the front heel, basically. And we'll just relax the arms for now because the wall will probably be in our way. Now, when we sat straddle, we were outreaching the legs and wide reaching the legs. So this is where you'll have to play with that left foot position. There will be positions where you can really get the back of your left leg to light up. There will be positions where it feels totally inactive, and that part will be up to you to discover just because of the nature of us not being in the room together. There you go. And then dare you. Is this a stance that you would widen or broaden? You don't have to go as wide as possible, but we can find that sweet edge of the depth of the stance. How do I know it's a pretty exciting edge? I generally want to start changing my breathing. That's pretty exciting. And then you might even feel the breath lower in the body. That's pretty exciting. Reverse warrior. I'll place the left hand to the thigh. Inhale the right arm to the sky. Exhale, just keep lifting that right arm up. And then, of course, you can arc over that left straightened leg. Outreaching, wide reaching. So for our purposes today, we're letting this stance help us have access into the groin, some of that deep hip, into those butt muscles. So outreaching legs, but wide reaching legs. So you can start to feel that opening through the front of the pelvis, the pubic bone area. Reverse, yeah, we're still in reverse warrior, yeah? Okay. Good. Inhaling when you come upright. We'll just set the block out of the way, palm the wall, and we'll adjust our stance. I'm pivoting or walking that left foot in, and I'm shifting into pyramid, but I'm doing so with my hands on the wall. I'm leaving the hands on the wall just so I can use my hands to create and find That wonderful support of the spine. And just keep dosing out different spaces. And just wiggling around until you can fully straighten the arms. And then the little test I'm doing here intermittently with my hands staying on the wall, it's kind of an invisible test. It's I'll lighten my touch and feel how much of this pyramid I'm supporting with my own deep intrinsic support. And then I press with the hands and find some wall support. As I press my hands, I might even stretch out a little bit more. Deep breath. As I lighten my hand touch on the wall, then I'll learn just how much of this am I supporting, how much of this is the wall supporting. And then I just dose back in the hands and get some wall support. My legs are actively drawing the sit bones back. The abdomen soften. It's a really important place to feel the abdomen here. So the way we help the abdomen soften was we changed the orientation of the pelvis. Sometimes the way we change the orientation of the pelvis is relaxing near the sit bone and the anal area. Can you feel the abdomen touching the thigh? Just a teeny bit. Now to release, just lean forward, step forward, stand up. That's it. We'll switch sides. So we'll do warrior 2, reverse warrior, and pyramid next to the wall. Let's use the block for our warrior 2. Left leg nearest to wall. Right leg will be the straightening leg. Give you a second to set that up. Pelvis basically faces the long edge of the mat. So our practice today, one of the hopes is that it's helping us shift our feeling awareness into the legs, the inner legs, the pelvis, the back, the abdomen. For the moment, we can relax the arms down, just so we can play with the leg spacing, the width, the depth of the pose. Outreaching legs, wide-reaching legs. Now, if I just wide reach and kind of crank on my back, things will get jammed up in the back. But let's pair that intelligently. We did a whole bunch of things yesterday to work to find the front side, the low abdomen, the hip crease, so in tandem, we can get enormous uncrunching support by feeling the back side, feeling the front side. Okay? So still have a very light touch on that left shin block. Let's move reverse warrior. Right hand to thigh, inhale, raise left. Exhale, lift, lengthen through the guts. So again, just broad statistical brush strokes here. As you're moving into reverse warrior, I'll often notice that right leg that you were getting so well worked and involved will tend to like limp a little bit, like become slack. Feel for how that right leg is still helping support you. There's two-legged pose. Yeah. You can use both legs. Good. As you keep lifting, as you keep reaching with that left arm, does that help you find deeper reaches in the left side waist and pelvis? There you go. As breath starts to deepen and lower in the body, is it meeting these highly sensational areas? All right, inhale, come upright. Palm the wall. Let go of the block, and we'll make a shift toward pyramid with the wall. So I've got my hands shoulder width. My left leg is the front leg still. I'm letting that pelvis shift just enough where I can feel the softness of abdomen. So in my mind, all these things are related. When I'm tensing the backside of my body, oftentimes it becomes really tense and not so soft in the abdomen and the hip crease. Okay? Does that mean I want you to have a flaccid or non-active backside of body? No, of course. It's wonderful to, okay? Just kind of spilling the pelvis. You're pouring water down just a little bit, like a millimeter. Might be just enough release to feel the abdomen breathe, move near that left thigh. There's actually, I find that when I get to the ease part, there's a lot of movement potential in the hips. They're not locked into place. The muscles have not locked down on them. The joints are quite free. Taking just a few more breaths, just soften the touch on wall. Feel, can I support myself in this shape? And then just reapply pressure to gain some relief. And then lighten up. Feeling, okay, maybe those back muscles can kind of wake up to this. So kind of an interesting thing that happens here. When I lighten my touch, we're almost met with the instinct of, am I going to fall forward? Right? There's some reflexive orientation here. Right, to exit, just lean into the wall, step forward, lean, step up. All right, let's keep our mat near the wall, and we'll work either downward dog at the wall or handstand. Just choose one of those, whichever one you're getting into today. Okay. And if you have a variation that you're working, by all means. Okay. So we'll go for about, 3 to 8 breaths. If you're doing anything in the straddle way, just make sure you do both sides. Nice. And we're just letting whatever learning we've been doing around the hip crease and the back and the abdomen and the legs these last 3 days, 2 days, just letting that kind of roll in and inform this pose. Maybe you can feel the piking of the hips up. Maybe you can feel the foot pressuring the wall differently. Maybe you're gaining a sense of, there's the front side of my body, there's the back side of my body in this handstand, this inversion. Maybe start to balance a little bit more. Maybe you can feel the weightless balance area. It's about perception. So we might skew our perception one way one day. We might skew our perception another way on a different day. And after shavasanas and after sleeps, it may start to combine and network with each other, giving us new insight. All right. And when you've brought yourself down from your inversion, do some standing alternate twist. So right hand to right foot. Then we'll turn our chest to our left. So hopefully we've been poking and prodding and activating and waking up these areas of the legs. Maybe balance feels different. Wouldn't that be something? So right now we've got the right hand, right foot. And we'll switch sides. Set the right foot down. Inhale, draw left foot to left hand. Exhale, press. Right reach. Opening chest to you, right. Inner right leg. inner right leg. Inner right leg, so vital. There you go. Good. Inhale, we'll place that down. And then maybe you have 2 blocks, place them at the top of your mat. How high you set them just depends on your body. You'll figure it out. And so I'm at the top of my mat. Inhaling, telescope the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, hinge, fold. So I'm taking that lengthy abdomen, almost like painter's tape. I'm trying to kind of lengthen and place that painter's tape right over the thigh. So again, trying to distinguish between balling up and lengthening out through the gut. Feeling and sensing will help us get there. Okay. If this is a new way of folding, you may discover that you're folding to a very different degree than ordinary. That's great. So the blocks are there. My abdomen is soft. That pelvis is kind of spilling my tea right on top my foot. Relaxing the neck. Now when the abdomen is soft, we can breathe into the back. The legs are active, but not tense. There's a difference. Lunge, bend knees slightly, inhale, step the left foot straight back, straight back. Touch the ground. This is a little remember. So my heel is over the forefoot. Exhale, use that left leg. There's the front side of the body. If my foot just kind of grabs the earth clay, just kind of wrinkles up that earth clay underneath me. The whole front side lights up. Now push with the hands. So this is where we'll find that best height of the blocks. That left leg is tensioning back. Pardon me, that left foot is helping to tension the leg back. The front side of the body is so supportive. And now I press with the hands, broadening through the back of the shoulders, lighting up the chest, serratus, all those shoulder supportive muscles. I'm wrapping the shoulders. So you may have to put your arms where they can both be straight-ish. Twisting, extended lunge. I'm going to leave my left foot like so. I'm leaving my right hand on the block. Inhale, let up on that left. Stretch it, reach it around that right shin. Plant it down. You can plant it on the block. You can plant it on the floor. Now, pick up the right hand, reach forward. Inhale, unwind. Set the hands down. I'm going to the ground instead of the blocks, but you'll decide. Step the right foot back, exhale, chaturanga. Lowering to the ground. Reach back to the legs, inhale. Broaden through the bottom tips of the blades. I'll give you one more breath to kind of compute that notion. broadening through the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Can you soften the belly? Can you feel that soft belly just kind of flexing and flowing very near your thigh or your hip crease? Or maybe you feel the belly in relation to your clothing, but does it feel soft? Is it malleable? Does it move? Does it breathe? If it feels taut, you might have to push the heels higher, adjust the way you're kind of playing with the feet, feel that little shift in the pelvis, and then you can rework it. All right, lunge with blocks. Inhale, step the left foot forward. The right leg is already trailing. Exhale. The right foot grabs the earth. And light up that whole front side of the body. And again, maybe the question is, how do I even feel what does that mean? How do I feel the front side of my body? It's not a muscle. It's kind of coverage. It's a whole feeling connective sheath. So if we're kind of grabbing the ground just so, this will untip the pelvis. Right? So we're not pouring our tea to the ground. You'll feel that little when you feel that push with the arms, wrapping the shoulders. If we get to play tomorrow, we'll keep talking about how this is our abdominal. This, right here, this lunge that you're doing is our abdominals when we're lying on the ground. It's a hollow position. That front line of body's really lit up, supportive. We're moving into twisting, extended lunge. The right foot will remain. Left hand remains for a moment. Inhale, pick that right hand up, lengthen, reach that right elbow forward. Right arm over left thigh. And then left arm overhead. This is that balancing pose. This is that standing alternate twist move. One more very deep breath into the full width of the shoulders. We're not just smashing and hoping we get through it. Space hunting. Inhale, unwind, set the hands down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. You could do cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Use the toe pads and the forefoot. Draw the sit bones back. Okay. We're going to move into a bit of a fold. So from our downward dog, let's just do a little single prop reset. So grab each of your blocks, set them for your hands, and step back into downward dog. So we are in downward dog, hands on blocks. Okay, so inhaling into the abdomen. Maybe you can feel the abdomen grazing the thighs. Okay, you might have to lift the heels up or kind of shift the pelvis a little this way or that way. Okay. Now we'll step the feet a few inches forward. What's a few? I'm stepping about a half or a whole foot length. Breathing into the abdomen. Pressing through the arms. Now as I keep walking my feet forward, it's okay to bend the knees. But straighten the arms. So if I keep walking forward and I keep straightening the arms, my hips have to go which way? Up and up and up. Now I've stepped 3 times. Now I can feel a lot of my ribs, my lower ribs are smooching my kneecap. Now as I keep stepping my feet toward my hands, now I start to bend my elbows more. So now we're coming into that kind of that same fold setup that we were doing yesterday. Isn't this fun? Just keep driving by the same landscape, seeing different things. And up to 1 or 2 more steps as we're folding, the ribs draping down, elongating down the thighs. Bend the elbows if you need, bend the knees if you need. So hopefully this is informing us how to just position the pelvis, how to feel for that softness of abdomen. This is my observation. When we tighten our belly, and I don't mean just the muscles on the top, I mean like that deep gut clench, sometimes imperceptible to us gut clench, is often where we start to round into our folds. So when we're working folds, in my mind, we're working a supremely, sublimely soft digestion. We're going gut deep, spine deep, vena cava deep, like deep, deep, soft. That's what fold is to me. Okay. And then release, just bend knees, have a seat, and we'll put a bow on it. Shavasana. And then this is just a kind of a general statement to everyone and no one, right? But if we have the belief that the learning or the efficacy of our practice comes from the doing, it's kind of in an internal way, just let yourself know, in the rest, much gets done. In the rest, many connections are made. In the stillness, these disparate, awakened things start to find each other. So the vastness and the stillness and the silence are so crucial to our wholeness. It's in the stillness and the silence that we reduce the noise from the signal. The latent engineer in me thinks in signal to noise ratios. And a lot of what we're doing in Shavasana is improving the signal by reducing the noise. A lot of what we're doing in our stillness and deciding, I'm just going to leave my body right here for a moment. Right here. Is somehow an attempt to improve that signal to noise ratio. Sometimes the signal gets clearer as we reduce the noise. Hear and feel your breath clearly. Clear body, clear mind. Deep heart. Vast, vast stillness. That we may perceive and interact with one another with minimal distortion, minimized noise, ultimate clarity, with skillful means. In this way, comfort is a measure of, am I okay being exactly who I am in this moment, in this body? Whether there's pain, whether there's discomfort, whether there's... And through this clarity and depth of body and mind and heart, we do the simple things like bend knees, turn to a side, and press to seated. Namaste.